Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this morning's session from Murray, Natalie, and Melanie. Thanks to everyone who stayed with us, and hello to those who just managed to join us. So far, we've had the opportunity to learn about the importance of brand storytelling, social media relationships, and how to introduce AI to your team. Since we all know that AI is the hot topic of the moment, but it's also probably the most complicated topic for us marketers today, which is why I am super excited to go even deeper into how you can all use AI for content marketing with Andy Crestodina, the co-founder and CMO of Orbit Media Studios. In his session, Andy will guide us on how you can leverage AI to supercharge your content strategy with real examples. Hi, Andy. I am
Hi,
super happy you've joined us today. How are you?
I'm good. I've been looking forward to this. This will be fun.
Yeah, of course it will. So just before I pass on the mic to Andy, I want to remind everybody, even though you know this, to use the Q&A chat that is Q&A and chat tabs are open. Don't be shy. Ask all your burning questions, and we will get to them at the end. And with that, Andy, I hand it over to you.
Thank you. Yes, I love this topic. I've been a content marketer for 15 years. I've done lots and lots of content strategy, blogging, SEO, social media, influencer marketing, analytics, going way back. So now, of course, we're all sort of disrupted and life is changing because we all have access to this very powerful tool. We're all very familiar with it. The 1 year birthday of ChatGPT was just the other day. So through months of experiments and hundreds of hours of trying different things, I'm happy to share with you some of the most effective approaches I've found. And it's all going to be using just ChatGPT. Several times you'll see that I'm going to be using the ChatGPT Plus version. And I want to challenge some of the things that people are doing with it by showing kind of more detailed, more extensive ways to get value from it. Like anything, even though it's a very powerful productivity tool, like anything, I think we should set our expectation. We should align expectations with our efforts, and just the short, simple, kind of lazy prompt is not going to get us where we want to go. I also want to start by saying that ultimately our goal here is productivity and efficiency. Yes, you'll see how I can get better results this way. But if we just level set and at the very beginning, just say upfront, why are we doing all this? Let's just set a benchmark and set a goal of being 20% more efficient. That'll allow us to decide whether or not this was effective, right? We're going to see things that come out of ChatGPT that are not good. We don't necessarily trust it at all. We're going to have to improve the responses it gives to us. But if we can get 20% greater efficiency, that is a huge win. And that is my goal. I'm going to start there. And everything that we do, I'm going to come back to that, did it work? Now, this is a very common question. People ask me this all the time. Can AI help me write articles? That question, I think, is actually absurd because writing articles is not one thing. And the people who are the best at AI are people who go through all their SOPs, their standard operating procedures, and break down these tasks and ask, is there a use case for AI for more specific tasks? Because writing articles or doing content marketing is many, many things. Researching the audience, brainstorming ideas, outlines, first drafts, all the creating promotional assets, you get the idea. Now, my thesis today is that there's really two things that we're going to be doing in AI. One is to train the AI to be a synthetic version of our audience. And the other is to train the AI to be a bit more like ourselves in our writing style for voice and tone. Now, if you take those tasks I just listed and break it down, these are the ones where we're going to train it to be like our audience and get insights from it. And these are the tasks we're going to train it to be sort of like ourselves and to write on point brand aligned copy. Make sense? Okay, you can see this is kind of going to be a strategic approach. The first thing I do, and most of my adventures into AI begin here, where I want to train it to be like my audience. I want to teach it who I'm talking to. Right? You're a writer, I'm a writer. Anyone who's done any content marketing, you know that the whole game is data-driven empathy. You want to connect with a human in their moment of truth. You want to align with the psychology of them in their mind. So we have to teach the AI who we're talking to. Now, if you have battle-tested ideal client profiles or personas, you can use those. If you don't, I'm going to give you kind of a detailed prompt to have the AI help you create a persona that we can then use. Here's what it sounds like. If that looks like a long prompt, it's not. Many of my prompts are much longer than this, but I'll start here. This is a really important one and kind of where I begin in so many conversations. Build me a persona for a job title, marketing director, company size, let's say 10 million, Business category, this is going to be a nonprofit. In a geography, Midwest, maybe United States, the company's purpose, they're working with, they provide healthcare resources in certain communities, and their challenges, fundraising campaigns, get people to come to their events. And I want this persona to include not like, their age and gender. That's not that useful for a B2B marketer like myself. Very useful. Their goals, their pain points, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their decision criteria for selecting a company like mine. I'm not a social media marketing company, but in this, my little hypothesis here, just for the example, I'm going to pretend that I'm a social media marketing company, pitching to nonprofits, pitching to marketing directors, companies of that size, in that place, doing those things. You get the idea. The next thing that happens, it gives me a persona back that's actual, that may be a big shortcut that I can then use to talk to and improve everything else that I do in AI. So we're going to kind of vet this. Does it look good? Maybe. Can you improve it? Probably. Should it be edited? Absolutely. It might be inaccurate. We don't trust AI. We shouldn't trust AI. We use it to get responses and then we improve them. We can't just take it for granted. I showed this to a legitimate persona expert, Ardith Albee, who's done marketing personas for hundreds of companies. And she said, Andy, do you really know that that's accurate? I did this with her on the phone. It was fun. What's the likelihood that that's correct? You didn't validate that. Go check with your customers. I don't trust this. Ardith, I agree. I don't trust it either. So you're going to go improve it, right? That's the job. You can't take it for granted. Don't trust it. Go fix it. Now, once you've got it and you like it, save that prompt so that you can come back to this, because this is going to be very useful to you in all kinds of ways. You can hammer that thing day or night. You can ask it anything. You can ask it about, what kind of content would help you be effective at your job? What social posts might you click on? What key phrases do you search for? What research studies could I create that would help you, day to day? And what do you hate, by the way? What do you hate about researching social media marketing companies? Very useful. We should all know what our clients don't like about the buying process. That way you can, help them through that, right? You can give this your sales. You can upload your PowerPoints to this and ask it what's missing. You can run your sales scripts against this. You can give this your ad copy. The magic of having a more or less accurate AI-friendly persona is breathtaking, very exciting. Why do we do that first? Because now all the things that we do next are more likely to succeed. I'm not just going to ask it to write me an article. It doesn't even know who I'm talking to. We're going to use this to generate ideas. This is what some people do in AI. Go write me 10 articles that blah, blah, blah for a nonprofit company, whatever. These are generic. I joke that if that's your prompt, like just a short, simple, lazy prompt, the stuff you get back, yeah, it's AI, but AI stands for average information. ChatGPT it ingested the internet. It finds basic stuff on any topic and gives it back to you. Not on point, was it? Not impressed, were you? Because you just didn't try hard enough to get something that was aligned. You didn't teach it who you're talking to first. Okay, I made my case. So instead of that, I'm going to ask the persona about the concerns. Hey, what are your concerns? What do you care about? What do you hope for? What keeps you up at night? And it gives me a bunch of concerns, right? What are your top concerns? The concerns in this case were that this person was, that slide should have animated, I'm sorry. It gave me concerns about finding strategic partnerships. In that response, one of this persona's concerns was forming strategic partnerships. Great. Good. Now I know. Now I ask it for content ideas related to that concern. Don't ask ChatGPT to give you ideas. Train ChatGPT on your audience, then talk to ChatGPT about your audience's concerns, and then ask it for article topics on that concern. Much more useful, much more meaningful, right? And some of those are going to sound really, really good to you, way better than it would have sounded. Our next step is to write the outline. So now that you've got the idea and the idea was vetted with that audience, now we're going to go create the outline on that topic. The prompt looks like this. Write me an outline of a practical article for that persona on this topic. So you took the concern and got topics, then you took the topic and now you're getting the outline. When I show this to people, they're sometimes like, wow, that's more work. It sure is. If you thought that AI was going to magically change your life or make you, let you abdicate your job or do 100% greater efficiency with one short, simple prompt, you've been disappointed probably till now, right? So you can see how I am taking the steps. I've broken down the process and I'm building it up. Write me an outline for a practical article on this topic, right? And it writes the outline, and the outline was way better than you might have thought it was, right? Now edit it. Don't trust it. Don't believe it. Go edit it, right? So every step in this process, I'm improving it. I'm asking it to, I'm expecting more from it, right? So I take the content out of there. That outline was, some of it was boring, some of it was expected, some of it was irrelevant. Now I'm going to improve that outline, and then you give it back. Cool. And by the way, after you train, after AI makes something for you, you can give it back to the AI and then ask the AI and then show the AI how you made it better. Now it's trained to give you a better response next time. If it gives you something and you fix it, don't close the browser. Give that fixed version back, because it's like working with a person, okay? It's another intelligence, it's like human intelligence. You have to keep working with that person. So I think a lot of people just sort of close the browser down before going back and giving it the improved version of what it gave to you. How do you expect it to keep improving? How do you expect it to get to know you? How do you expect it to do a better job next time if you just keep taking things out without giving things back, right? You would never do that with a human assistant. But so why do people do that with an artificially intelligent assistant? It's kind of weird, right? You're not getting the most value out of it. Next step, we're going to write the first draft. Okay. So now in this case, I'm going to move that out of that chat where I trained it to be like my audience, right? I've got a synthetic member of my audience. I'm going to move it into a new chat where I'm going to train it to be like me. I'm going to train it to write like my brand. I'm going to train it on my voice. There are fancy tools for this. There are ChatGPT Plus is like $20 a month. The $300, $400, $500 versions of these are pretty impressive. You upload your brand standards. It keeps getting smarter on them. You got different logins that all pull from those same brand standards. Kind of a downside to the this version that we're all using now of ChatGPT, where kind of everyone has their own login. If you train it, it's kind of like you're on a little island. You need a shared prompt library where you can then, you take that AI friendly persona that you improved and make it available to other people so they can keep using that. A lot of people now are kind of, using Google Docs or something for a shared prompt library, so other people on the team can collaborate and keep improving these prompts. This is a good example of that. I need to train the AI on me. I need to train the AI on our brand voice, right? On the things that I do. So literally just take 3 articles or 10 articles or 100 articles and put them all into one long prompt. Or if you want to get around the context window, aka character limit, you can put them into a document. The custom trainings now, I find that it's a lot of effort to train these AIs, and that you really need to give them much more than you thought. Here, I'm just giving it a couple. It's still an improvement. Here, read these articles written by Andy and summarize his writing style. It goes through and summarizes the writing style. The writing style was, it felt good. Sometimes it uses words that I would never use. So then you need to kind of give it the avoid word list, like here's words to never use, append your prompt with that. These are big prompts. You'll probably want to keep them in a separate document. Here, I've got this one in a Google Doc. So keep them all together. And then when you give it back, it's going to summarize the writing style. Andy's style is blah, 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 blah. He gives his readers this and that. Here's a quick summary. That's basically your style guide, right? Now it knows your style. I'm going to try to predict the future here for a second. The future of brand standards are prompts. They're AI-friendly documents that you can load in. Why would you make a brand standard that includes voice and tone that can't be given to a tool that's going to create drafts for you? You'd want that. It's almost, if some of these prophecies turn out to be true, the deliverables that we get back from our audience research teams and strategists and social agencies will be things that are extensible, where other teams, other people on that team can use it to put it into these tools and make the copy all more consistent. Right. So what's the style guide going to look like in the future? It's going to be like, an AI sort of something that you can give to the AI. Brand standards, voice and tone copy. Even in the future, when we get past large language models into large multimodal, as in visual models, even things like the aesthetic sort of style guides with colors and fonts and typefaces and things. That's where it's going to go. Anyway, so now that it sort of knows my style, now I'm going to give it the outline. in Andy's style, create a draft blog article in the following outline. You see how I did that? It's not, hey, AI, go write me an article. We trained it on the audience. We asked it about the audience's top concerns. We picked one of those, and then we asked it for an outline based on that top concern. Then we took that outline, gave it to a different chat, a different conversation where it's trained on the, where you gave it a bunch of writing samples. And I'm going much farther than I'm showing you here, but I've got things where, 15 Word documents, each of which has 10 articles, and loading all of those in first. Like it's just amazing to me how much more training these require than you think. These are, that's how actually the breakthrough in AI generally came when they gave it the whole internet, right? It ate the internet. It ate the Common Crawl. Common Crawl is a nonprofit that archives the internet. It's like estimated to be something like 85% of the internet. Of course, AI is, has good utility on a million topics because it consumes so much. That was the difference. It's the amount of training data that made the difference. So the sort of lazy prompters, please help me in kind of evangelizing this idea and spreading the word about this is really, it's going to take more than you thought it would. It's going to be a longer sequence of prompts. It's going to be larger amounts of training data. You can, if you've got a 10 PowerPoints that worked in the past, upload those and tell it ask it to find the common structure of those, and then ask it for the next iteration, right? The next version of it. It doesn't know you yet. It doesn't know your audience yet. That's the problem with these lazy prompts. It's taking the average of the internet, not very useful. Okay, moving on. In Andy style, write an outline for that, or write a blog post on that. I don't know. It's not terrible. I would definitely have to go edit this. This is one of the ways to use AI. I am not personally, for my own content, I'm still doing my writing by hand. My content is very structured. There's tons of images and bullet lists, and I have not been super successful yet at getting AI to create things that are highly formatted like that, highly structured articles, things like, internal links. There's a lot of stuff that you got to keep adding to it. That, of course, wasn't perfect. We weren't expecting it to be perfect. Judge it harshly. That's fine. Don't abandon your confidence in AI just because it wasn't great. Again, we were only looking for 20% productivity gain. Go back to the reason we're here. It wasn't to magically produce massive amounts of content at scale. It was to make us a little faster, right? And would that method so far give us greater productivity gain? I believe so. I think it would. And if you don't want to take it out of there yet and see if AI can keep learning for you, here's some short prompts that will get you there. Expand. Write it again, but with shorter words. I did this. I teach a class on content strategy, and there was one of the students, she said, it's writing these long words. Tell it to write a shorter word. And then she had this light bulb moment, wow, oh yeah, it works. That's right. You have to keep coaching it, right? You're not done yet. Write it again, but make it punchier, make it more concise, add bullet lists, write it again, more depth and detail, write it again in a more casual, informal tone. Every time I ask AI to write something for me, it's always like, unlock the secrets. I would never write unlock the secrets. It sounds spammy. That's weird. It's like social. So I had to train it to not use those words anymore, right? Unlock the secrets. That just sounds, I don't know. That doesn't sound like me. So to stop doing that, I didn't give up on AI. I just told it to stop doing that. And now it does a better job. Other things you need to do. This was a draft. Yes, it was a draft based on a vetted topic. Yes, it was a draft based on a sort of a useful structure, an outline, a creative brief. But you still have to do what? I got to add my images. I got to drop in those embedded videos. I've got to reach out to opinionated or expert friends or subject matter experts to get them to contribute to this. AI doesn't know my friends. I have to go, that influencer marketing component. And by the way, I do not publish articles without contributor quotes in them. Why would I? Journalists don't write articles without sources. Content marketers should stop writing articles without contributor quotes. So add in your contributor quotes, add in your specific examples. It doesn't have those. Add in your supportive data. It doesn't have those. Add your internal links. It doesn't have those. Strong opinions. That's a really important one. And by the way, if you want to differentiate yourself from AI, if this whole thing is like freaking you out because you think like the world's going to get flooded with a bunch of like low quality content and you're going to have a tougher time distinguishing yourself, from this, from mass generated content, I got an easy trick for you. Take a stand, have an opinion, have a perspective, a point of view. AI does not have a point of view. It's not that hard, to differentiate your content from AI. Just plant a flag and come out for something and against something, and then make strong opinion statements. ChatGPT doesn't know how to throw a punch. It can't do that. It doesn't have opinions. It's an algorithm, right? So if you just strengthen your language throughout, you're going to get a much better result. Ask me if we have time in the Q&A. I'll give you some prompts that you can use to quickly help you find those strong opinion statements using ChatGPT, things that you might agree with. It can actually create drafts of those, but it can't take a stand for you. Now, write it. That worked. You trained it. You edited it. You gave it back the content. It's getting smarter. Keep that. Save it. Edit it. Right. Keep training it. Keep improving it. There's lots of other little assets that go with these: title tags, meta descriptions, email copy, social posts, headlines, all these things. So if you just give it a whole bunch of, it probably started with a very basic headline. If you wanted to improve that, you give it a bunch of other headlines. I have 10 here. I would probably go way overboard now and do like 50 or 100. Give it lots and lots of headlines. And then it's likely to give you back something in that style. Brackets, numbers, punctuation, double headlines, the length, all those things. It's more likely to give you better responses back after you first give it things and ask it to. Do you see this prompt? Read these 10 headlines, then summarize this style. This is a training prompt, right? I'm just giving it a bunch of stuff and asking it to summarize. I only ask it to summarize because I'm trying to, get it ready for my next prompt. But once it's summarized, great, there they are. Now it knows. The idea is now in that style, write 5 alternate headlines for the following article. Copy and paste in the article. So you might have, one conversation where where you've trained it to write draft articles, maybe another one where you've trained it to write draft headlines. You could also, if you've got shared prompt library with a bunch of samples in there, you just put the prompt in the attachment, that you can load in. You need a ChatGPT Plus account to upload attachments, but you get the idea. So it comes back, it writes headlines. Those headlines might be a little better. Did you like them? If not, ask it for more, right? In this case, I had to ask it to add numbers to them, right? Which it did. Look, secrets, there are unlock secrets. It's like very AI typical language. So you got to edit those. And then keep those, right? Name it, save it, keep editing it, training it. By the way, timeout. Headlines, what the heck is a headline? Newsflash, there's no such thing as a headline. There are no headlines on the internet. There are H1 tags, there are title tags, there's email subject lines, there's social media posts, there's video titles, but there's no headline. Headline is not one thing. Headline, there's many different things that can be called a headline. Headline is a term left over from like print media, right? We're not doing print media. We have, and so you should not use the same thing in many places. There's no reason why your ideal H1 tag is also your ideal title tag. Those are different. They have different requirements. They have different outcomes. They affect different metrics. They have to treat them differently. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this, or we'll share the slides. The idea is that like a headline's not one thing. Again, when I teach classes or when I, in my content, I have to explain this. I wrote a book about this. It's in the book. You have to tailor that for its use. Title tags and H1s, SEO is a factor, right? Email subject lines, SEO is not a factor. It's 100% visitor psychology, right? You get the idea. Step 5, this is one of maybe the best thing to do. I believe that optimization should really prioritize the bottom of the funnel. If you're doing any optimization work, I would start with conversions first and then move upwards through the funnel. If there's a problem at the bottom of your funnel, everything else you do is harder, right? You can drive a lot more traffic, but if your conversion rates are, abysmal, you need way more traffic to get the same result. If you can fix your conversion rates, or you then drive more traffic, you'll get exponentially greater results. Similarly, if you can improve an article versus improve a sales page, you should focus on the sales page or the service page or the e-commerce product page, because that's the money page. That's the page where the visitor has strong intent. That visitor is much more likely to take an action or do something. So once you have your persona, and your persona, remember, included the decision criteria for selecting a company like yours. Now simply copy and paste in your homepage. This is persona driven. It's an AI persona driven gap analysis exercise, which is an awesome use for AI because humans are very bad at identifying what's missing from something. The human brain does not look at the thing and naturally conclude like something's not there. It's very hard for the brain to do, right? It's called the availability heuristic. We value what we see, the thing that you're seeing. So it's one of the many cognitive biases that make humans bad decision makers, right? It's hard for us to look at a thing and say what's missing from that thing. It's not natural. You have to have done many, it takes years of training yourself to see a thing and say what's missing from it. It's often hard to detect. But for AI, it's quite easy. Which of Taylor's top concerns are not addressed on this webpage? What question did I fail to answer? What objection did I fail to address? Which statement did I fail to support with evidence? Right? Which of this person's information needs are unmet? Right? So you set the one prompt with copy and paste in the text, and it comes back and it will point out which of that person's information needs are not specifically addressed. That is an awesome use for AI. Costs very little. It doesn't really take any time. There are, if you want to go ahead and do like visualization and have AI draw charts for you, you can use a prompt that says basically like, create me a heat map matrix that shows the extent to which this page does and does not meet this persona's information needs. And it will draw a chart for you that shows prioritized information needs on one side and the extent to which you met or did not meet them on the right. Colorful heat map matrix. Bring that to a meeting. People are going to freak out because they're going to say, what? How come we didn't mention? I'll give you an example. We did, we were looking at a site. It was like a welding school for kids, how to do welding, like metal arts. The target audience for this page is parents. Page didn't mention safety. What? No way am I sending my kid into a room with explosive gases and, ultra hot, like you could be blinded by this, like didn't mention safety. Huge information gap, right? That's the key to conversion. Answer the visitor's top questions, address the visitor's top objections, supply evidence to support those assertions, call to action. Answer evidence, call to action. That's how to make money on the internet. That's how to convert visitors. That's how to get people to take action. That's why people do and don't take action. Go look at your own browsing history. That's why you didn't convert on all those websites. Why didn't you become a lead? Why didn't you buy that product? That's why Amazon's conversion rates are so high, because they sort of answer all the main questions. When am I going to get it? What if I don't like it? Right? All the objections are gone. Right? So this is the B2B lead gen, same thing. Every unmet information need will hurt your conversion rate. Okay. We decided Play asked me to go a little bit deeper in this. So we added one more quick bonus tip, which is about converting between formats. I'm on a podcast with a friend, Chris Carr. It's called Digital Marketing Masterclass. And we talk a lot about AI. And we're interviewing the founder of the Marketing AI Institute, Paul Rotzer. Now, when you're on this page, if you go down and grab the transcript for this page, right, you click on in the description, click show transcript. It appears on the right. Copy and toggle the timestamps off, copy and paste that transcript into a text file, upload the text file to AI, and then you can just simply ask AI to suggest articles based on the transcript, which it does beautifully. Look at pile of article ideas. Now, if you want to do, if I were promoting that video in social media, how would I do that? If it has the transcript, imagine this one. Which statements in this video are people most likely to be surprised by? Which soundbite would make the best video clip on social media? Again, very hard to do, right? Transcripts are hard to work with. If you've ever tried to convert like a podcast transcript into an article, it's murder. That's like 4 hours of work. It's not formatted. There's no links. There's no bullets. There's no subheads. It's just blocks, huge blocks of text. Very hard to work with. AI is brilliant at converting between formats, repurposing. Every content strategist knows that this is half the game, right? You make a thing, you got to get the most value from that thing. Repurpose to multiple formats, promote it in different channels. So here, now I know what is the most controversial thing, what's the funniest thing, what's the most surprising thing, which counter-narrative opinions in this piece are most likely to be interesting to my audience. Prompts like this, right? That'll help you get the good stuff out. All of these would then, listen, surprising statements, potential sound bites, those become good articles.